I am here today with Margit Bantowsky, and she has been in the Trillium work since 2011. She had her whole being realization in 2012. Margit is an artist with a background in engineering and graduate studies in psychology, and weaves these diverse capacities into an integrated approach to embodied awakening. Margit became an interning teacher in the August of 2016. She loves helping students awaken and feel at home in themselves and in the world. Margit will be sharing a process with us that utilizes deep embodiment as a gateway to realizing fundamental consciousness. The work is called The Realization Process and was developed by Judith Blackstone. Welcome, Margit.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about who Judith Blackstone is?
Sure. Judith Blackstone is a wonderfully articulate and experienced spiritual teacher who developed something called the realization process. And the realization process is an innovative integration of non-dual spiritual awakening, psychological healing, and embodiment. Judith is a licensed psychotherapist in New York with 35 years of clinical experience. And she has a master's degree in transpersonal psychology from JFK University. And her PhD is in psychology, Eastern religion, and embodiment from Union Institute and University. Judith also studied with many teachers in the Hindu traditions, including Advaita Vedanta, Bhakti, and Kashmir Shaivism. And she also studied with teachers in the Zen and Tibetan Buddhist traditions. But it's important to note that the realization process, the practices for embodied non-dual awakening that Judith developed, they emerged outside of any traditional lineage. They arose in response to Judith's own needs for healing and realization, and in response to the needs of the people in her classes and her private practice. She currently has 5 books in publication and has taught the realization process for over 35 years in the United States and also in Europe.
So tell us a little bit about what this realization process is.
Sure. The realization process is a direct path to non-dual yet embodied awakening. And it involves a series of meditative practices for realizing oneself as fundamental consciousness. So in the realization process, the radical openness and non-dual realization is actually based in deep contact with the internal space of one's body. So we realize ourselves as fundamental consciousness, as fundamentally unified consciousness pervading our own form and pervading the environment as a whole. And yet at the same time, we also discover an authentic, quality-rich experience of our unique individual beingness. So at the same time as we transcend our individuality, so we land in our uniqueness at the same time as transcending our individuality. And what's exciting too is, in addition to the basic realization practices of embodied non-dual awakening, Judith has also further refined this work and applied it into the areas of psychological and relational healing, mutuality, embodiment and movement, and also creativity and spontaneity. So she's really dimensionalized and applied the process.
Wow, I love hearing that. Tell us a little bit about how you got involved with this realization process.
Once upon a time, I came across Judith's work about 4 or 5 years ago when I was a Trillium student, and the mentor I was working with was taking classes with Judith. And so I got Judith's book, The Enlightenment Process, and I love the precision. I mean, Judith is really clear, really precise, very sequential. It's just beautifully organized work, and I love the clarity of her meditations. But I really didn't, I would say, get hooked on her work until I came across her book, Belonging Here. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can. Mm-hmm.
Belonging Here, a guide for the spiritually sensitive person. And I got to see how valuable this process was for people who are struggling to really be here, embodied in this physical world. And so after I became a Trillium Awakening teacher, I took Judith's 7-month spiritual psychotherapy certification program, and I've been weaving her meditations into my work with my students now.
Okay. So, and how do you find that the realization process helps Trillium students awaken?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm going to first say how it has been for me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I had my whole being realization in 2011, there was this fundamental sense like I finally landed in my body. I felt essentially complete. I'm here. But when I discovered the realization process, the thing that I appreciated about it is how it helped me sense into and occupy and inhabit areas of my body that was still either unconscious or numb or somehow constricted. So here's an analogy. If my whole being realization is like someone gave me the key to my own house, and now I'm the owner of the house and I can walk through it and I can occupy my own house. The realization process is like discovering, oh my gosh, there's this whole basement that I wasn't even aware of, or this room in the back, that was closed. And so even though I've landed in this house, there's all these dimensions that I wasn't aware of. And the realization process can help, me occupy myself more fully and consciously and interact with the world more fully and consciously. Mm. And as a Trillium teacher, I'm starting to see how this helps students before their awakening. Judith's meditations are very precise, and they can help people start getting a sense of fundamental consciousness. At the same time, we start this consciously inhabiting the body. So it kind of does both nicely, and both are necessary for whole being realization.
Lovely.
And then also with the spiritual psychotherapy component, I can use the realization process to help students unwind from their conditioning, and that allows energy and tension to be available for the realization itself.
Well, sounds powerful. Really good. Well, how would you? What else would you like to share with us with regard to the realization process today?
Well, I want to give you a taste of this, and I've gotten permission from Judith to guide you through some specific meditations, exercises that she has created. And to begin with, what I'd like to do is a short, simple exercise to help make a subtle distinction between awareness and embodiment. Mm-hmm. And the second exercise, I'll go right into it. The second exercise is an abbreviated version of Judith's most fundamental practice, which is called attunement to fundamental consciousness. So that's her foundational practice that we start with. And at the end of that, I'm going to add a third, very short meditation exercise called whole being absorption, which I think Trillium students will really appreciate. So I do want to say that Judith uses very specific language, and I will be following her scripts, except for the first one, which I've modified a little. And just to say, it's okay if you don't quite understand the words. I mean, the words are words you'll know, but how they're being used. So just let yourself follow them as best you can. You can't do it right. You can't do it wrong. It's just trusting where the meditation takes you, and it's just right for you. And like everything else, this is a practice. First time I did it, it didn't totally yet quite make sense. It took some time. It's very subtle, so it took some time to sense into it. So invite people, like, this is just a taste. And at the end, I'll give you some ways to take this further if you're interested and your interest is piqued by this.
I'm ready. I'm curious.
Okay. Well, okay, so go ahead and sit up in a comfortable position. And again, the first thing that I'll guide you through is what I call the hands exercise. And I have adapted this from Judith's work. So just begin by settling in. Go ahead and close your eyes and take a few breaths. Just settling into your body and into this moment. Now bring awareness to your hands. Notice everything you can about them. What they're in contact with. The temperature. Sensations. Sense of the bones and the tissues. Ligaments. Maybe even your pulse. Notice how your hands feel, being aware of as much texture and nuance and detail as you can. Now feel yourself inside your hands. You're not just aware of your hands, feel that you are the internal space of your hands. Inhabit your hands from the inside, as if you are living inside of them. Just take a moment or two to feel yourself inside your hands. Inhabiting them. Good. Okay, now I will guide you through the short form of Judith's basic practice, which is called attuning to fundamental consciousness. And sitting with your back straight and your eyes closed. Bring your breath smoothly and evenly in and out through your nose. And if you're congested, go ahead and use your mouth. But if not, go ahead and breathe through your nose. Silently count 3 counts to inhale and 3 counts to exhale. Bring your inhale inward through your head, using your inhale to make deep inward contact with yourself. Your exhale releases. Bring your attention down to your feet. Feel that you are inside your feet, that you inhabit your feet. You are not just aware of your feet. Feel that you are the internal space of your feet. Make sure that you can stay in your feet as you breathe. That your inhale does not lift you up and away from your feet. Now attune to the quality of your self inside your feet. Feel that you are inside your ankles, lower legs, knees, and thighs. Attune to the quality of your self inside your legs. Feel that you are inside your hip sockets. You are living in the transition between your legs and your torso. Balance your awareness of the space inside your hip sockets. Find the inside of both hip sockets at the same time with a very subtle mind. Experience the stillness of your balanced mind and the movement of your breath at the same time. Feel that you are inside your torso, your pelvis, your midsection, and chest. All the way through to the back of yourself. Attune to the quality of yourself in your whole torso. Bring your breath down into your torso on your inhale and release the breath on your exhale. Feel that you are inside your shoulders. Attune to the quality of yourself inside your shoulders. Feel that you are inside your shoulder sockets. You are living in the transition between your arms and your torso. Balance your awareness of the space inside your shoulder sockets. Find the inside of both shoulder sockets at the same time. It's a very subtle mind. Experience the stillness of a balanced mind and your breath moving through it, through that stillness without disturbing it. Feel that you are inside your arms, elbows, wrists, and hands, all the way down to your fingertips. Attune to the quality of yourself inside your arms, elbows, wrists, and hands, fingers. Feel that you are inside your neck. Let yourself settle within your neck. Attune to the quality of yourself inside your neck. Bring your breath down into your neck on your inhale, and just release the breath on your exhale. Feel that you are inside your head and behind your forehead, all the way around to the temples of your forehead. Find a point in the center of your forehead, not between the eyebrows, but in the center of your forehead. Between your temples. And keep this point steady as you breathe. It may move around with your inhale and exhale. Just see what you need to let go of for the point to be steady as you breathe. Now get back behind that point so that you are seeing it from behind it, from deep inside your head. With practice, you may see a point of light there or a pearl of light. Feel that you inhabit your whole face, your forehead, eyes, cheekbones, nose, jaw, mouth, chin, lips, and ears. Feel that you are inside your whole brain. And attune to the quality of yourself inside your whole brain. Bring your breath straight back through your head on your inhale, and release the breath on your exhale. And feel the breath pass through the quality of self inside your brain. Feel that you are inside your whole body all at once. If we say that the body is the temple, you are sitting inside the temple with nothing left out. Attune to the quality of yourself inside your whole body. Feel that you are made of the quality of self. Experience one self inside your one body. Keeping your eyes closed, find the space outside your body, the space in the room. Experience that the space inside your body and the space outside your body is the same continuous space. It pervades you. Slowly open your eyes. If you're in front of a screen, you may want to just keep your eyes lowered. And feel that you are inside your whole body at once. Attune to the quality of yourself in your whole body. Even though the world appears, you still have the same internal depth, the same temple to sit inside. Find the space outside your body. Feel that the space inside and outside of your body is the same continuous space. It pervades you. Experiencing your breath passing through the space. As space, you can let go of your grip on your experience. Everything will still be there, but you can let go of your grip on it. You have let go of your grip. There's no difference between yourself and the space. You are the space. Experience that the space that's pervading your body also pervades me. You are still inside your whole body as you experience this. Do not project yourself through me. Attune to the space that seems to already be there, pervading you and me. You do not have to move at all in order to do this. Experience that the space pervading your body also pervades the walls of the room. Remain inside your whole body while you experience the space pervading you and the walls of the room. You're not finding the walls. You're finding the space that pervades you and the walls of the room. Just taking a moment to rest in that space. So this concludes the short form of the attunement to fundamental consciousness meditation. And I will now guide you through a very short meditation called whole body absorption. Sitting upright, go ahead and close your eyes again. Again, feel that you are inside your whole body all at once. The whole internal space of your body breathes at once, not sequentially. The whole internal space of your body breathes at once. Sit for a moment or two, meditating within your whole body at once. And slowly open your eyes. You may want to keep your gaze lowered. Sit for a moment, experiencing that you are completely one with the whole internal space of your body. And the whole internal space of your body is breathing. Find the space that pervades you and your environment. Let go from deep within the whole internal space of your body, dissolving into the pervasive space. Let go from deep within the whole internal space of your body, dissolving into the pervasive space. And remain within the internal depth of your body as you do this. Okay, that concludes the meditation exercises. You can take a moment to bring your focus back to this recording. So maybe I could summarize some of the benefits and challenges of the realization process. How does that sound?
I would love that.
Great.
Oh, but let me do before, just like what you said, her precision.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really, if you asked me to really say the words that you were speaking, I probably can't recall them, but they were so specific that they did bring my awareness into simultaneously a groundedness within myself, while also having some kind of quality of non-local as well. So that both were there. And like I said, I can't recall the words that you used, but they worked so well to, for me, have that staying within this space while allowing my attention to expand to include this same space that's outside of me. It was really profoundly powerful. Thank you. But I just jumped in there while you could now.
Oh, that's great. Glad you had that experience. And, it may take a while for newer students to get a sense of that. There may be oscillation in and out. There's outside space and inside space. So I just invite people to, do it a few times. And, in the mind, I noticed for myself when I first was doing these exercises with Judith, my mind would try to figure out, well, what does she mean by that? And where am I going? So the mind can get pretty busy. So the invitation is, just noticing that the mind is doing that, but just softening and allowing, the awareness to be guided by the precision of the language over time. And, even now, after having done this for quite a while, and reading it just now, reading the script and guiding in this recording, that I feel some of the subtle dimensionality deepen as I do it, even though it's familiar, So, so that I would say that's one of the challenges, is that it can be very subtle. And some of the other embodiment explorations can also be, territory, if we're not used to it, just territory that's unexplored, and it takes a while to recognize, get our bearings, get a sense of it. But, the precision prior to whole being realization, this simultaneousness of attuning to fundamental consciousness and staying deeply embodied can be really helpful. Instead of transcend and escape, it's the simultaneity. So it's really a very specific muscle that's being worked. Can I offer a quote from Judith's book?
I'd love you to do that.
So I love how she phrases this. She says, your experience of individual wholeness develops at the same time as your experience of oneness with everything around you. So it's almost like she's amplifying or dimensionalizing that paradox of simultaneity at the same time, both dimensions. So. And then the other thing is, if you use Judith's work for the spiritual psychotherapy practices, you can start unwinding old trauma and conditioning, which also allows the awareness to open up. And then, like I said earlier, the house analogy, after second birth, after whole being realization, Judith's practices are great for deepening our consciousness and embodiment, and really living in ourselves more fully, and continuing to do the integration process. So it's great beforehand, and it's really helpful afterwards too. And then if you want to take it even further, Judith has practices that explore the subtle intersection of interbeing, right? To explore mutuality and sort of consciousness and embodying and mutuality, like the nub of the Trillium petals, all three at the same time. So, it's pretty juicy. You can do it in partners, partner practices. And, like every tool and path, it's not for everybody, It's beautiful and it's powerful, and if you're not drawn to it, no big deal. There's other ways.
Where can people get more information about the realization process?
Well, luckily, Judith is not only a great teacher, but she's a great writer. So she's got several books. The Enlightenment Process, the Belonging Here book that I mentioned, Intimate Life, which explores the mutuality. And then she also has this great 6 CD set. You can get it from Sounds True. It's the realization process. 6 CDs, and she gives context for each meditation, and then she guides you through the exercises. So it's really wonderful. And then if you're interested in training with her directly, you go to her website, which is realizationcenter.com.
Okay.
So, if you Google Judith Blackstone, it'll pop up, but her direct website address is realizationcenter.com. And she's been, training people in this work for quite a while. If you want to see if there's any realization process teachers near you, certified practitioners, you can go on her website. She has a list of certified teachers and practitioners. So if you want to do in-person one-on-one, you might find someone locally, or it works virtually online well, on Skype or Zoom. And of course, I'm available if you're interested to do this in the context of Trillium.
Mm-hmm. And so you have on our trilliumawakening.org site, you have a page with essays, etc., about you, and people could go to the website trilliumawakening.org and learn about Margit and your offerings as well. Like you just said, this works really well virtually, so people could contact you if they want to work with you to Trillium work and engage with you, or how you interweave the realization process tools developed by Judith Blackstone into your work of embodied awakening with students. And that sounds also very great. I also really liked the fact that you mentioned this is a practice. So as it takes it out of the maybe like there was just an exercise that you led us in. It's a practice, and and as practices we develop in them if we use them over time. So like you said, it may not be for everyone, but I would like to encourage those people that did find this to be of value, or even if you just thought, oh, I think this has value, to maybe even listen to this recording again at the very least, and discover the value that begins to be shown to you through this practice.
Yeah, definitely. Give it a go.
Give it a go. Margit, is there anything else you'd like to share with you, either about you or kind of concluding remarks?
I guess most important thing is, trusting what you're drawn to. And this may or may not resonate. I had one student who I just did the hands experiment, the hands, observing the hands versus inhabiting. And just that shift of being the witness versus being inside was really catalytic. It's like, oh, that movement, so the permission to be surprised, the possibility of being surprised, and if not, then green light that, embrace what arises.
Lovely. And I also want to let our viewers know that Margit lives in Olympia, Washington, which is quite a thriving Trillium community. And she and her colleagues there offer workshop sittings there regularly, workshops occasionally. And so, again, those workshops that they offer will always be posted in the trilliumawakening.org website. So if you're ever interested in visiting this vibrant Trillium community, you can either contact Margit to find out what she's up to and what the community's up to, or you can go to the trilliumawakening.org website and see if they have any workshops that are in the offering. So,
thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Thanks for doing this great exploration of consciousness. Great service to our community.
My pleasure. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.